welcome back to the Planning Pulse podcast brought to you by Acorio. My name is Matt Harbison. With me, as always, is my good friend and coworker, Beau Mellon. Beau, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great, Matt. You've been demoing throughout this entire mini series. Today I'm taking the keys back, so I'm excited. All good in the hood.
I know. The people that like and subscribe to our channel, and everybody that listens to the podcast, I'm sure is happy that you're going to be the one demoing today too. So, no, I'm excited to see what you've got in store for us. As you said, we are continuing on through our sales planning mini series. If you haven't had an opportunity to watch one of the first two episodes, please go back and do that before you hop into this episode. First episode, we covered top-down quota setting. Second episode, we married that up with bottoms-up capacity planning, talked about cross-departmental organizational collaboration. This episode, I'm really excited. We're going to be talking about territory carving. We've got a lot of content for you all today, but just a brief glimpse into what we're going to be looking at. Territory carving is a critical component of sales planning. It ensures equal distribution of opportunities across all of our sales team, ensuring that everybody has an equal opportunity in order to hit their sales targets. It's also great for sales performance and sales optimization. So it's a critical step in the sales planning process. So that being said, I know that there's a lot of content that we've got here today. So Beau, I'm going to give you those keys back and let you get right into the demo.
All right, great. Let's do it. Okay. So today, like Matt said, it's going to be all about territory carving and assigning people to ensure that everybody has a fair shake at hitting quota and overachieving their quota. Because at the end of the day, Matt, sales inherently is a pretty high turnover industry. And if we're not giving people a fair amount of accounts, or they think the accounts that are assigned to them are, not prone to spending some money, or they, for whatever reason, they just don't think they have a fair shake, they're probably going to be on to the next. And then it's just going to, take us back to that planned staffing we hit on last episode. We're going to have to do more and more hiring. And at the end of the day, that's just an expensive process, not only in terms of paying new people, but just having to go through that ramp process again. And even then adjust maybe quota for other people. And so this allows us to make sure, hey, do we have a good, fair plan out there for all of our sales reps? Because we want to make sure that people aren't leaving all the time, and we make sure that we have a strong sales force. And so today we're going to be kind of hitting on that, as well as talking through some different analytics and data across our different markets that we're selling in. So Matt, whenever we do territory carving, a lot of times our customers are doing what we call account scoring. So down here, if I scroll on down to the bottom right, you can see what are some of these weighted assumptions that we have here. What we're doing here, Matt, is saying, okay, we're selling to Acme Corp, and Acme Corp has revenue of X. They have an employee size of Y, and they have an IT budget of Z. If we go ahead and compile the annual revenue, the employee count, and the IT budget, and apply a weighting percentage to it to get 100% total for our weight, that account gets XYZ score. Acme score has a score of 5 or 7 or 2 if it's not as attractive of an account, right? And then a customer or a sales rep gets on that account, and then that sales rep now has that account assigned to them with a score of 5 or 7 or 2, right? So that out of the gate kind of helps us assign how, good of an account, a potential good of an account is this for XYZ rep, right?
Yeah, and I think scoring, you hit on that too, is it's customizable based on what your organization
Yeah,
deems is going to be the most sort of acceptable target metric for ranking and scoring the opportunities and the accounts that you have as well. So while
yep.
it says revenue, employee count, IT budget, you may have different ranking metrics as well within your organization. So that is a customizable field.
100%. Maybe, growth rate of a company is one, or whatever the case may be, right? These are just some good stock examples we've seen out in the field. Now, up here at the top, you can see our geo maps, right? We have a North America, a Europe, and Asia. It's nice to go ahead and be able to say XYZ deals are coming from XYZ part of the country, and just kind of go ahead and set up a cool metric like that, right? Uh, You'll be seeing these country to geo mapping tables, right? This is a derived dimension mapping table. This helps us automatically tag certain accounts to specific geographies, right? It saves time if we know something is coming in from XYZ state to map it to their territory, then their region, and then the country, segment, geography, right? This mapping table will allow us to do that automatically inside of Adaptive. Next, if we go on down from our geography, we're now moving into segment, right? When we've went through our sales planning mini series so far, we've been assigning quota down through SMB, mid-market, and enterprise here, right? So now something comes in and it's not only sitting at a geography, but based on employee size or annual revenue or IT budget, right? These are additional things that we're seeing in the account scoring process that also allow us to go ahead and map it to a specific segment. And so if something's coming in inside of, China, it's going to map to the APAC geo. And if that company out of China is 1,000 to 2,000 employees, we know it's going to sit inside of the APAC mid-market segment, right? And so we can see how many reps are in our APAC mid-market segment. Okay, which rep should get that account that maps to that segment, right? It's nice to allow us to quickly be able to see what's our pipeline and our existing accounts look like by our different segments or geos or regions or territories, right? Now, Matt, I'll keep scrolling down here, and this is something that's really critical to every single sales planning engagement we do, right? We talked about it in episode 1, but if we're doing a finance project, we're hooking up to your accounting system. If we're doing a workforce project, we're hooking up to your HR system. Now, if we're doing a sales implementation, then a lot of times that's your CRM, your Salesforce or your HubSpot, right? Or maybe it's a CRM that's built inside of that ERP. Maybe we can certainly connect to that too. You can see here we've got accounts and opportunities, 2 fields that we bring in on every sales planning implementation to bring in things like customer name, who's the sales rep attached to it, right? Here are some of those metrics coming from that account score, right? Employee size, annual revenue, IT budget. It's going to automatically calculate that score to say Robert Velasquez has this account attached to him, and that account has this score of 2.94, right? And that's showing it for existing accounts, right, in blue here. But the field below is opportunities. Those are our pipeline accounts. And now if I go ahead and see that, I can also see what's the pipeline look like by these different segments as well. Now, real quick, Matt, this accounts and the opportunities fields, these columns completely customizable based on calculated fields you may have in your Salesforce or specific tags attached to your accounts and opportunities data. And it's really easy to integrate that in because if I jump on over to this next tab here, you can see we have an automatic cloud connector to Salesforce, right? And so a lot of our customers on Salesforce for their CRM, we have a native connector directly back to that to allow quick and easy integration with your Salesforce environment to make sure all the accounts and opportunities data are coming in. Scheduled cadence.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So after we go through geography and after we go through segment, right, we're going to go ahead and map this down to a region. And so when we're integrating the data in from a CRM, right, you bring it in by location. So state and country and segment, that maps automatically to our specific regions. We can see what are all of our regions that we have sitting inside of our system. And then a lot of times, some of our customers are mapping sales reps to specific regions or territories or whatever the case may be, right? Allows us to quickly and easily track what are those accounts and scores by all of the different regions we're selling in. We can see, man, well, in our customer base, large enterprise West has some really nice accounts in there that we maybe want to make sure we keep going after. And as far as net new business, our worldwide large enterprise is looking pretty good right now. And candidly, our SMB Central pipeline, the accounts in there really are not as strong. Maybe we don't look at investing as much into future sales reps there or whatever the case may be if we feel like we have different markets that are more attractive to us, right? So not only does it help us with, hiring and thinking about where we need to have sales reps go to and who should get XYZ account, it helps us with future planning in terms of markets that we think we should be going after. Now we take those, customers that go and map to geo, segment, region, and then we map them to specific territories as well. And what's nice about this too is we can also apply, reps or owners to these specific territories and apply start dates and end dates to them. And similarly, map them automatically through our derived dimension mappings tables and see the scores across our existing customers and our pipeline customers by territory, right? So all the way from at a very high level on a geography basis down to the segment, which is more kind of business by business, not location focused, down to the region, down to the territory where our reps ultimately sit. Now, the last piece, Matt, sorry, did you want to jump in and add something
No,
there?
no. So just wanted to call out just as we're walking through it, right? We went
Yeah,
geo, then we went region, and then territory. A lot of them that we see, theater, area, region,
yeah,
territory. But we have a lot of customers who, when you get down to territory, it's zip code, it's state, it's, multiple zip codes within a state. So we
100%.
can get as granular as you need in order to fulfill the planning process. But in this example, we just had that four-step process. But
Yep.
as you can see here, I know, Beau, you're about to talk about account overlay. So even if you decide to get more broad or more granular, there's always still the flexibility at the end of the day to be able to do the overlay that you're about to run through.
Uh-huh. And a lot of times, the following question comes up when you see it on the screen right now. I'm looking at an open opportunities model, and we can see, okay, this is all data coming from our CRM, right? Who's the rep attached to this? Maybe we want to plan for it and change a rep and save that change here. Well, it doesn't just have to live here. We can set up a bi-directional integration to send this directly from Workday Adaptive Planning, actually back to your CRM as well. So it can kind of take out some of that work and not have to go make sure you change that account assignment in two separate places, right? You can do your planning here, run that outbound integration back to that CRM and have it automatically update there as well. Takes out the work for two systems, right? So here, Matt, we have our kind of a nice last summary tab here where we've got different sales reps here, right? Amber all the way down through Robert, right? Some of those reps we saw on those earlier models assigned out for our customer base accounts that they focus, as well as our net new and our pipeline business that we're going after. Now, you can see here, if I get rid of this, these are just all of the accounts that these different reps have. Now, these are the accounts and the average score of them, where we can see, oh, Rebecca has, 4 accounts. Other people may have more accounts, but she has an average score of 6.81, whereas Ashley has a lot of accounts. She has 7 accounts, more than almost anybody at the Salesforce. They have an average score of 1.39, right? Maybe they're not as higher ticket items. Whereas down here, if I scroll through the end, is Todd only has 3 accounts with an average score of 0.9, right? Well, maybe we're thinking we might need to share the love a little bit for Todd, and we need to make this more of an equitable process across our entire sales force. So let's say, for example, all right, Carol, she has some pretty good data here in terms of number of accounts with an average score of 4. So what we're going to go ahead and do now is filter on down for Carol's accounts on this model. I go ahead and I type Carol's name in. We can see these are all the deals assigned to Carol, right? Maybe I can see, okay, let's go ahead and maybe one that we expect to close later on in the year. So, maybe something that's not in the pretty late stages. We don't want to change reps this far into a deal cycle, Matt, but maybe Carol, we want to come on in here and say, this deal's actually going to go to Todd. And once I go ahead and I save that change, right, you can see up on our model, we can see Carol's at 7 and 4. Now she is going ahead and she's at 6. Her average score has changed. Todd is now at 4 accounts with an average score of 3.84. Maybe that looks a little bit better and that looks a little bit more fair for our overall organization. So kind of in summation from me, Matt, not only does this allow us to see where is our opportunity, where are our deals across the globe, but also make sure that our sales reps are assigned to the appropriate amount of deals. Is someone overburdened and maybe burnt out? Is somebody not given a fair shake to hit their numbers? This territory carving and account overlay and account assignments really helps a lot with all of that, Matt.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit it there at the end, right? This a fair shake is what our team members are looking for. And the process of territory carving, first and foremost, is to maximize sales efficiency across the team, but also to ensure equitable distribution of accounts and opportunities across the team just to prevent the exact things that you had talked about. So the purpose of territory carving can't be understated how important it is to get that right. And using a tool like Workday Adaptive Planning can allow you to do that. So Beau, great demonstration for everyone today. I know territory carving is a very large topic. There was a lot of content that we ran through. If you all have any other needs when it comes to territory carving, if you want to see zip code examples or state examples, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel. Reach out to us. Let us know that you've got questions. Maybe if you want to dig a little bit deeper inside of territory carving, reach out to us. We'd be happy to have that one-on-one demonstration for you as well. It's just to show you how it could work inside of Workday Adaptive Planning. We are about halfway through our sales planning mini series. We've got some account reassignment, we've got some mid-year revisits. I think we want to hit a little bit on maybe some workforce planning around BDRs and RSCs as well. So we've got a little bit more content coming for you for sales planning specifically. But Beau, any comments to leave our listeners with whenever we go, sort of thinking about territory carving?
No, I think you nailed it, right? Just ensuring the equitable distribution. That's really the key point there, right? And Adaptive has so many great ways to showcase that in terms of data analytics and visualization tools as well, and then share it out to people on that scheduled cadence. Make sure all of our managers and RSDs are able to go ahead and see those account assignments and the territories. So no, I just close with that, Matt. And also what you said for what's coming next. A couple of those episodes, there's some models in there I really like, so I'm excited for the future sales episodes we have coming up.
Absolutely. So next week, we are going to be continuing on through the sales planning mini series. You can catch us next week as we continue on. You can plan on it.